The Adventures of Alanko by Cece. Alanko lived in a cozy house at the bottom of Whispering Mountain. Every morning, he watched the sunrise paint the peaks golden and dreamed of adventure. "Today's the day," he announced, packing his backpack with snacks and water. "I'm going to climb to the very top." The trail started easy enough. Alanko skipped along the smooth path, humming happily. Birds chirped overhead, and butterflies danced around colorful flowers. "This is simple," he laughed, taking big confident steps. "I'll reach the top by lunchtime." But soon the path grew steeper and rockier. Alanko's legs began to ache, and he stumbled over loose stones. "Oof," he grunted, catching himself before he fell. Sweat dripped down his forehead as he looked up at the mountain. It seemed much taller than before. "Maybe I should turn back," Alanko whispered, feeling discouraged. His backpack felt heavier with each step. Dark clouds gathered overhead, and cold wind made him shiver. The cheerful morning had turned into a difficult afternoon. Then it started raining. Big, cold drops splashed on Alanko's head and shoulders. His shoes slipped on wet rocks, and mud splattered his clothes. "This is harder than I thought," he said, teeth chattering. "Why didn't anyone tell me climbing mountains was so tough?" Just when Alanko felt like giving up, he heard a gentle hoot above him. A wise old owl perched on a twisted tree branch, looking down with kind amber eyes. "Hello, young climber," the owl said softly. "Mountain climbing is never easy. That's what makes reaching the top so special." "But I'm cold and tired and scared," Alanko admitted, sitting down heavily on a wet rock. The owl fluffed her feathers and nodded wisely. "Every great adventurer feels that way sometimes. The mountain teaches us that good things require hard work, patience, and courage. Take small steps," the owl advised. "Rest when you need to. Ask for help when things get too difficult. Life isn't about being perfect, it's about not giving up." Alanko wiped his nose and stood up slowly. "Will you help me?" he asked quietly. Together, they climbed step by careful step. When Alanko stumbled, the owl encouraged him. When rocks blocked the path, she showed him safer routes. "Look how far you've come already," she hooted proudly. Alanko looked back and gasped. He was much higher than he'd realized. Hours passed. Alanko's muscles ached, and his feet hurt, but he kept going. Sometimes he had to stop and catch his breath. Sometimes he felt like crying. But each time, he remembered the owl's words and took another step forward. "One step at a time," he whispered to himself. Finally, as the sun began to set, Alanko took one last difficult step and found himself at the mountain's peak. The view was breathtaking. He could see his whole town spread out below like a toy village. "I did it!" he shouted joyfully. "I really did it," the owl hooted proudly beside him. As they carefully made their way back down the mountain together, Alanko felt different. Not because the climb was over, but because he had learned something important. Life would always have difficult moments, steep climbs, and stormy weather. But with patience, courage, and friends to help, he could handle whatever challenges came his way.